My name is Erica Lorraine Spencer, and I remain subject to state surveillance and terrorism by the state of California that is operating a malicious targeting system which is referred to as federal group stalking and monitoring via communication devices. And it is in violation of federal stalking statute 18 U.S.C. sections 2261A subsections 1 and 2. My website and podcast serve the public good by publishing evidence of the public entity's ceaseless engagement in a pattern of conduct intended to stalk and monitor via communication devices, surveil, harass, and terrorize an American citizen in concert with the people of the state of California. Documentation serves the lawful purposes of wide exposure, federal prosecution, and influencing federal legislation with policies specifically designed to punish, dismantle, and disincentivize an unprecedented targeting system by a public entity that acts in concert with the people of the state in order to criminally place under surveillance and terrorize an American citizen, which is a matter of public corruption in the state of California. Erica Lorraine Spencer here. The following is an audio version of video evidence that is captured for purposes of mass distribution, which is why I am capturing it and sharing it on the podcast for evidentiary purposes and also to reveal the wealth of documentation that extends beyond what it is that I document on podcasts. Much of the video and images will be published onto the YouTube channel, the P.O.C, and it is also shared on the Google Drive. Again, this is for purposes of revealing what I remain subject to, which is federal group stalking and monitoring. It is a demonic system of state surveillance that the government is practicing in concert with the people of the state, and it should be known and well understood that for the government to engage in federal group stalking and monitoring, this is a crime that is committed with a criminal purpose to threaten the life of an American citizen. This is to conspire to murder and or permanently kidnap an American citizen while engaging in a perpetual sex offense in concert with the people of the state. Alrighty, it is currently, as you can see, 11:46 a.m. So this is documentation of what is the fake sun that's remaining over me, while this is AT&T that's being documented gang stalking with the cheese across his face while he's being documented for gang stalking. And this is the light source that's over me in Los Angeles on February 15, 2024. This is same time of year analysis, same time of day analysis, and you're juxtaposing what is never the product of sunlight, even while the fake sun is at Alvarado Gardens, well, both Alvarado Gardens, but here at Woodside Senior Apartments in Ontario, what you see above is Los Angeles at Alvarado Gardens at 1808 North Alvarado Street. That is building 1810 that I'm facing. The fake sun is over building 1810, sitting on the roof, just like it sits on the roof here at Woodside Senior Apartments. Like I just captured, it's in the same position right here over my head in its zenith, just like it's over my head in its zenith in Los Angeles, same time of year. So you can see the time. I just captured this at 11 o'clock. It's February 17, 2025. This is captured February 15, 2024, and it is the currently the time is 11:47 a.m. The fake sun hasn't gone anywhere. I'm going to open the door, but what I want to start with is what is this light activity that's inside, where again the demon in unit number 55. This is somebody that is stalking in the path. Very easy for the feds to know who you are when you're going to be prosecuted for domestic terrorism with the government, and the ongoing what is relevant to the gang stalking landlord, that is AVANATH. And as I am documenting AVANATH, that is gang stalking with the demon that lives inside of this apartment, employing criminal defamation today. Criminal defamation is that which is automatically published while the pattern of conduct is underway, meaning calling names with regard to the inability, for example, of the target individual to take care of themselves, for example, which is in furtherance of the entity's malicious intent to both murder and kidnap you, to kidnap you with regard to placing you in a mental ward while the entity uses the courts, like Tracy Banks has done already, and those who are related to her, like Eric Spencer, have already committed criminally defaming me in the corrupt courts, who are also gang stalking with the corrupt police who have engaged in kidnapping and defamation with them. And while audible activity inside of her apartment, which is a crime scene, where AVANATH is gang stalking with its residents as well, and the ongoing interference with quiet enjoyment is underway. So follow me legally and logically. There is an intersection of laws that are underway. This is violence against women underway by AVANATH, and this is also criminal surveillance inside of what is a private space which is again a public crime. It's committed by the entity, the public entity. It's not a private space. It's not a private, it's not a private residence. It's a private space with regard to where I am, and the government is interfering with my constitutional right to be in a private space, what should be a private space, and I'm documenting what is the invasion of a private space for criminal surveillance purposes, which is unconstitutional, and it's also inhumane. It's also a violation of this HUD-regulated property that is regulated under HUD rules regarding 34 United States Code section 12291. So the entity is monitoring while violating HUD rules and is also criminally defaming while the audible activity, that is the conversation piece of a malicious psychopath. This is a predator. This is a closeted prostitute. This is a stalker. This is one that literally wants to be me. And there is evidence establishing the theft, assuming my identity, sexual intercourse with people that I know. This is the practice of witchcraft, the sex cult that she's a part of. And then the audible activity of a psychopath who cannot do anything other than laugh. While I'm speaking to the fact that you're going to federal prison, the federal government already knows what you're doing. The evidence of what you've already committed is a matter of evidence. I mean, the people of the state are gang stalking with you. You're pathetic. You're a criminal. You're a pervert. You're a predator, etc., etc. A psychopath and a demon, notably, engages in laughing. What's relevant is because the entity is not free to speak. The entity is not free to act. They don't even have a constitutionally protected right to be at the property of Woodside Senior Apartments because they are there on behalf of the government that has no warrant or probable cause. So everything coming out of the face of this demon is criminal activity that is committed by AVANATH. And as I capture this image, okay, at 11:43 a.m., the ongoing sound of what is reminiscent of bowling balls, like a bowling ball being dropped above my head. Bowling ball is really heavy, a loud booming earthquake-like conduct. The sound of like a reverberating bomb being detonated inside of the apartment. And this is relevant to what is the specific environment where the engineered light is inside of the venue, like you're looking at here. And you're looking at what is occurring with real-time knowledge of everything that I'm capturing on my phone second by second. Every picture that I take is subject to monitoring. As I take a picture at 11 a.m. and 14 seconds, boom, heard inside of the apartment. As I review the evidence of where the fake sun is during this same time of year, and I capture screenshots incriminating what is the landlord that is gang stalking. As I capture peculiar light activity, the shadow of my hand appearing upright on a closet door while I'm inside of the apartment and the sun is outside of that apartment. This is speaking to the pattern of conduct where there is no explanation for the engineered light that's shooting horizontally through the peephole. And this is, again, 11 o'clock in the morning. I've captured this same occurrence as early as 8 o'clock in the morning, even on a cloudy day where the fake sun is not outside. And also well into the afternoon, after 3 o'clock, after 4 o'clock, where the sun is not. Again, no explanation for the engineered light coming through the peephole, but you are breaking down and you are analyzing the illegitimate, the unrealistic, the illogical illusion that is very asinine that the entity presents, even in the absence of the fake sun in the afternoon where the fake sun has evolved. It stays over the same building, but it's nowhere near the front door, and the engineer light is still piercing through the peephole. I've captured that as well. Right now I'm capturing what is the fake sun, while the ongoing criminal interference with quiet enjoyment, which is AVANATH's criminal engagement in the Violence Against Women Act, violating this HUD regulated property, where they are employing criminal defamation against me while they're monitoring. And criminal defamation is a threat to your liberty. It's a threat to your safety. It's a threat to your, literally to your life, while the entity is gang stalking you for the criminal purpose of kidnapping you and murdering you. And then out of your mouth, while they are exhibiting severe mental illness. That's the psychopath, that's the malice, and it's also impunity. While a demon-possessed gang stalker who is monitoring with the state planes and helicopters by the gang stalking police and using defamatory speech as the audible activity method in the specific environment. Literally, your apartment is the evidence of your mental illness and the malice with which you are monitoring me. All right, that's relevant to what is the entire property. And AVANATH Capital Management aids in the infliction of that harm, while over this property, the fake sun is remaining over this building right here, while I am showing you what is the fake sun at 11:46 in the morning that is over Los Angeles at Alvarado Gardens. The two are not occurring at the same time, nor are the two going to coexist with regard to what I'm showing you, this fake sun that's remaining over the property. So again, let me just show this to you really quickly as the entity is targeting me inside of the venue while I'm documenting damning evidence. This is the pattern of conduct by the entity, full of psychopaths and sex offenders who criminally defame you because they're trying to kidnap you with the state. All right, they're the same entity that engages in murdering you and then claiming that it's a mystery or it's an accident or something. This is a threat to your life, your safety, your well-being, and your liberty. And AVANATH is being prosecuted for criminal defamation. Gang stalking with its employees, already on the record. Gang stalking with its residents, already on the record. The residents whom they profit from. And they are gang stalking while the government and the entity itself altogether uses AVANATH property, Woodside Senior Apartments, as a crime scene where the fake sun is sitting for the duration of the day. And that is literally captured in this video, in this image at 11 a.m., which I captured today. And the fake sun is still in alignment with me through closed blinds at 4:30 in the afternoon. While at what point in the day is the sun ever in a natural environment going to be over Los Angeles like I did capture during this time of year at the same time in 2024? It's never going to be the case. At any point in the day, the sun could never be, and nor at any point in nature is the sun stationary over one building such that I can capture it at one apartment at 11 o'clock and at the same apartment, whether it's the next day or the day before or the day after or 3 days later or 7 days later. Will it be at the same property in alignment to me for me to capture it on camera at the end of the day at 4:30 p.m.? That's the pattern of conduct, however. This is what the entity has. While the entity is I'm capturing at 11, it's over the same building at 2:31 p.m. This is at 11 o'clock, it's over the same building at 3:35 p.m. All right, this is the light source at 11 a.m., juxtaposing that with its being over the same building at 8:07 in the morning. This is the light source at 11 a.m., and it's remaining over the same building as I documented at 7:51 in the morning. And this is while the entity is keeping that light source where I am inside of one apartment, capturing at that this is the door right here where you would see it right here. This is the entrance, and through the entrance and through the patio glass door right here, this is where I'm capturing the fake sun from the beginning until the end of the day in a teeny tiny little one-bedroom apartment from the beginning to the end of the day. And you are literally looking at what is this building that is right here. This building is where the entity is keeping the fake sun directly over me. This building right here. That's speaking to the pattern of conduct that the entire property is engaged in. And AVANATH Capital Management employs obstruction with the ongoing psychological torture, the ongoing harassment, the terrorism, the intimidation, the threatening conduct of the demons who are gang stalking. They're gang stalking with AVANATH. As I document AVANATH, there are no corporate employees here, but the demons that are gang stalking are very much interested as I document that corporate actor. That's because they are the same entity. And you shall be civilly and criminally prosecuted and liable for that which is occurring on your property, okay, in addition to that. But that's why the demons that don't have a job, that are over 55, that are doing so with simultaneity to what I'm doing on my phone regarding AVANATH, and in the specific environment where a fake sun is remaining over the apartment building over me for the duration of the day, and as I juxtapose that with the maintenance of the light source in the same manner for the duration of the day in an entirely different region, that's the prosecution of the landlord AVANATH Capital Management under the Violence Against Women Act, and with regard to the violation of my constitutional rights, criminally surveilling me with the government. All right, and they're doing that with everybody at this property. All 144 units are being prosecuted while I document violation of my human rights and my constitutional rights. That is, again, solicited by a violent sex offender. This is Tracy Banks, all right, criminally defaming me and using that as a means of audible activity, because a delusional psychopath cannot face the fact that she is going to be arrested by the feds. She is going to a mental asylum for the rest of her life. She is a predator that laughs like a demon. A psychopath laughs not because it's funny, but because they're delusional, and Satan that is actually mentally insane. Satan is a spirit. This is a spirit that I'm dealing with, not a person. This is a demon-possessed person. This is how you have a gang-stalking mother. This is how you have a gang-stalking brother. This is how you have gang-stalking so-called friends and associates. You're dealing with the spirit. It's called malice, and they laugh at that which is not funny, actually, under any circumstances whatsoever. Even if I was engaging in just name calling someone, I'm calling you a predator, I'm calling you a stalker, I'm calling you a psychopath, and there's nothing funny about that. But this is, again, the threat to my life and my well-being, while demons like the in Unit 55, who is acting on behalf of the state, who is stalking in the path by living directly above, as I'm subject to what is ongoing stalking with activity creation in the specific environment, while the entity is maintaining amplified noise, the sound of dropping bowling balls and ongoing bombs detonating, earthquake-like conduct in engineered light, where I will show you now the entity that had the fake sun over me at 11 a.m. It is still present right now, and the entity is still stalking, and so is Tracy Banks inside of this apartment. All right, the audible activity coming out of her face is state speech. All right, And it is also state action. Okay, this is the light source at the same venue. It's currently 11:59 a.m. The entity is maintaining this light source while amplifying plane activity and all manner of sensational activity created inside of the apartment. That's for monitoring. Okay, and the entity comes onto the grounds, by the way, to engage in the P.O.C. with them. Walking in the parking lot is audible activity. Driving on Vine Avenue is light, excuse me, not audible activity, that's light activity. They're walking in the engineered light. This is not the sun that's both over me while AT&T is facing me at building 1810 in Los Angeles at Alvarado Gardens, and it is again 11:59 a.m., 11:46 a.m. this time of year. The sun that's over Alvarado Gardens is not reflecting off of some window and creating light activity in the shade for the gang stalking purposes of the demons that live at this property. This is where the entity is stalking, flying higher than the fake sun that's stationary over this building in planes and helicopters, while they're monitoring an American citizen and threatening that American citizen, whom they're keeping under surveillance in furtherance of murdering and kidnapping me, with the sex offender that's inside of this apartment, who employs criminal defamation because she cannot face what she's committed, what she's going to be answered for, and the state has committed it with her. Okay, it's currently again 12 p.m. on the dot. This is the same building where I'm capturing the fake sun at 7:51 in the morning, and this is 5 hours later, 8, 9, 10, 11, almost 5 hours later, here it is at the same building. Okay, that's the P.O.C. of Federal Group Stalking and Monitoring. All right, the defamatory speech of the entity is legally relevant. It's relevant to malice, it's relevant to impunity, and it's relevant to the time in federal prison that the entity will serve. And everybody in units 33 through 64 are going to prison as they speak together, and then they obstruct justice together. Further psychological harms, threatening conduct while the ongoing amplified audible activity inside of the apartment, criminally interfering with quiet enjoyment in doing so. This is how you're going to prosecute a gang stalking landlord who is keeping you under surveillance with the people, through the people, and the state itself, and doing so while monitoring your evidence. Okay, that's what's relevant to every time I'm pointing upwards, and at all hours, day and night, you have a gang stalker that's living. You're going to federal prison for that. Okay, this one in particular is going to a mental asylum in unit number 55. All right, doing what is their job, gang stalking with the state, and doing so on an ongoing basis while everything that I'm documenting, this is a demon-possessed person, it's not a natural, just not a normal person. All right, the ability to stalk with simultaneity via noise, the ability to live under a fake sun and an engineered light with simultaneity to what it is that I do, that's the pattern of conduct of gang stalking. Surveillance that's underway in that engineered environment. And this is all happening where I am showing you the phenomenon of the fake sun remaining over one apartment building in alignment to me for the duration of the day, while you juxtapose that with the evidence of what is the fake sun that's remaining over me in Los Angeles, California, like I documented this time of year in 2024. Alvarado Gardens is again located far away from Ontario, and neither is the sun also is never going to sit stationary over one building in Ontario, California. There can never be any sunset seen in Miami, Florida, where that is the case. But this is the entity that is gang stalking and then criminally defaming you while gang stalking you, while psychologically torturing you, criminally defaming you. That's the intent to kidnap and murder. All right, it is unpersuasive and it's highly malicious, and it's relevant to how long you're sitting in prison. Okay, it is again 12:02 p.m. This is the P.O.C. while I am documenting the entity on this device, documenting at time and putting timestamps and including images. This is what I'm documenting: 4 loud booms inside of the apartment. This is interference with quiet enjoyment by AVANATH, who was gang stalking me as a corrupt company and doing so with the employees, doing so with the very residents. That includes those who speak as the entity. Okay, only psychopaths, I want to be clear, mentally ill psychopaths that are malicious actors, predators, are enraged and hostile and angry toward being exposed as just that. That's what's threatening the life of the target individual, merely because they're mad, because you are enforcing your rights to not be murdered by them, to not be kidnapped by them, to not be preyed upon by them. Okay, that's what's inside of this apartment here. This is, again, relevant to what she's going to say in court. This is relevant to how she's going to depict herself in court and the things that she said and the things that she did. But you know what she said and did because I've been documenting it for years. All right, and as I document her, I'm documenting the state. And as I document the state, I'm documenting AVANATH Capital Management. And as I document AVANATH, I'm documenting what is the unprecedented criminal violation of a property like speaker companies and violation of federal law while they are regulated by those laws that enable them to participate in housing programs, including the gang stalking residents. All right, it is currently, again, 12:03 p.m. and this is P.O.C.